On a crisp autumn evening in 1926, the world's most famous magician, Harry Houdini, took his final bow after what would be his last performance. Just days later, Houdini was dead, leaving behind a mystery that continues to captivate audiences nearly a century later. How did the man who escaped from handcuffs, straitjackets, and even underwater coffins meet such an untimely and unexpected end? The answer, as shocking as it may seem, lies in a punch to the stomach, one that Houdini refused to get treated. Harry Houdini, born Eric Weiss in 1874, was more than just a magician. He was a showman, a master of illusion, and a symbol of human endurance. His death-defying stunts and daring escapes pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible, earning him a place in history as one of the greatest performers of all time. Houdini's impact on the world of magic is immeasurable. He inspired countless magicians, many of whom continue to draw on his legacy today. But Houdini's legacy is not just one of triumph, it's also one of tragedy. The mysterious circumstances of his death have become as much a part of his legend as his incredible feats, fueling rumors, myths, and a lasting fascination with the man behind the magic, even leading to ongoing debates about what truly happened in his final days. The days leading up to Houdini's death were filled with a series of events that, in hindsight, seem eerily prophetic. At the height of his career, Houdini was performing in Montreal, Canada, when he met a group of students from McGill University. Among them was J. Gordon Whitehead, a young man with an interest in spiritualism, a belief system that Houdini had spent much of his later years debunking. Houdini was known for his robust physical condition, often challenging members of the audience to strike him in the stomach as hard as they could. He claimed that his strong abdominal muscles could withstand any blow, a testament to his near superhuman strength and resilience. However, on this occasion, Houdini was caught off guard. While reclining on a couch in his dressing room, Whitehead suddenly delivered several heavy punches to Houdini's abdomen before the magician had a chance to tense his muscles, as he usually would in such challenges. Though visibly in pain, Houdini brushed off the incident, determined to carry on with his demanding performance schedule. This determination was typical of Houdini, who prided himself on his ability to push through physical and mental challenges that would have broken lesser men. But what happened next remains a subject of debate and speculation, giving rise to myths and legends about the exact cause of Houdini's untimely death. The pain from Whitehead's punches did not subside. Instead, it grew progressively worse, casting a shadow over Houdini's final days. Houdini, a man known for enduring the most extreme physical challenges, whether escaping from a straitjacket underwater or being buried alive, continued his performances despite being in clear distress. Some accounts suggest that Houdini developed a fever and intense abdominal pain, symptoms he attributed to the punches but stubbornly refused to have treated. True to his nature, he reportedly told those around him that the pain would pass, demonstrating the same unyielding resilience that had made him a legend in the world of magic. However, this refusal to acknowledge his worsening condition would prove to be a fatal mistake. The climax of this story unfolds on October 24, 1926, during what would be Houdini's final performance at the Garrick Theatre in Detroit. Houdini took to the stage despite being in excruciating pain, his face pale and his movements slower than usual. Those in the audience were unaware that Houdini was performing with what would later be diagnosed as acute appendicitis, a condition likely exacerbated by the punches he had received days earlier. Houdini's refusal to seek medical attention only compounded the severity of his condition. During the performance, Houdini reportedly collapsed, but insisted on finishing the show. The man who had escaped countless life-threatening situations was now visibly struggling to maintain his composure. By the end of the night, Houdini was in such agony that he was unable to stand. His wife Bess and his assistants urged him to go to the hospital, but Houdini, true to his indomitable spirit, initially resisted, It wasn't until after the performance that he was finally rushed to Detroit's Grace Hospital. By then, it was too late. Houdini's appendix had ruptured, leading to a severe case of peritonitis, an infection of the abdominal lining that, in those days, was almost always fatal. Despite emergency surgery, Houdini's condition continued to deteriorate. On October 31, 1926, ironically Halloween night, Houdini passed away, leaving the world in shock. The official cause of death was peritonitis brought on by a ruptured appendix, but many have speculated that the initial trauma from Whitehead's punches played a significant role in his untimely demise. Houdini's death sent shockwaves through the world of magic and beyond. The man who had seemed invincible, who had escaped from impossible situations time and time again, had succumbed to a punch, a mundane act compared to the perilous feats he regularly survived. This incongruity between his life and his death only added to Houdini's mystique, giving rise to countless theories and rumors. Houdini's death was surrounded by controversies and speculations that have fueled debate for nearly a century. While the official cause of death was peritonitis resulting from a ruptured appendix, many have questioned whether the punch delivered by J. Gordon Whitehead was the sole factor or if there was something more sinister at play. One of the most persistent controversies involves the theory that Houdini was murdered. Some have speculated that the punch to his stomach was part of a deliberate plot by spiritualists who were angered by Houdini's relentless campaign to expose fraudulent mediums. Houdini had made many enemies within the spiritualist community, which was popular in the early 20th century. His aggressive debunking of their practices led to widespread animosity, and some believe that Whitehead, who had an interest in spiritualism, might have been acting on behalf of others. Another controversy revolves around whether Houdini's death could have been prevented if he had sought medical treatment earlier. Houdini's own stubbornness and his belief in his physical invincibility likely played a role in the delayed treatment of his condition. Critics argue that his refusal to see a doctor immediately after the incident allowed the appendicitis to progress to a fatal stage. Additionally, the exact circumstances of the punch itself remain murky. Accounts differ on whether Houdini explicitly invited Whitehead to punch him, or whether the punch was more of an impulsive action. This ambiguity has led to further speculation about the true nature of the encounter. How could a man of such strength and skill be brought down by something as simple as a punch? Houdini's death also left a lasting impact on the traditions and superstitions within the world of magic. Some magicians began to view Halloween, the date of Houdini's death, as a particularly significant day, with seances held annually in an attempt to communicate with the spirit of the great magician. These rituals, known as the Houdini seances, continue to this day, reflecting both the endearing fascination with Houdini and the deep connection between magic and the supernatural. The circumstances of Houdini's death also led to a greater awareness of the risks involved in performing dangerous stunts. Magicians who followed in Houdini's footsteps were reminded that even the strongest and most skilled performers are not immune to the hazards of their craft. Houdini's death served as a somber reminder that the boundary between life and death is a fragile one, even for those who make a living by defying it. Nearly a century after his death, Houdini's legacy remains as powerful as ever. His name is synonymous with magic, escape, and the art of illusion. He continues to inspire magicians, performers, and audiences with his extraordinary feats and the story of his life, a story which ended in a way that no one could have predicted. Houdini's refusal to seek medical treatment for what he considered a minor injury ultimately led to his death, but it also cemented his place in history as a figure of almost mythic proportions. Houdini's life and death are a testament to the power of determination, resilience, and the human spirit. He pushed the boundaries of what was possible, not just in magic, but in the realm of human endurance. His story is a reminder that even the greatest among us are vulnerable, that the line between strength and fragility is thin, and that sometimes the most ordinary of events can have the most extraordinary consequences. Houdini's influence on the world of magic is undeniable. But his story also raises important questions about the limits of human endurance and the price of fame. What do you think about Houdini's decision to refuse medical treatment? How has his story influenced your perception of magic and the risks that performers take? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about the history of magic, be sure to check out our other videos exploring the fascinating world of illusion and wonder.